That's expected. Who played as the Horde? Just out of interest. Get out. No. So yeah, I'm Alex. This is my talk today. Betrayal. I can never say the third word. How do you say Subterfuge? Subterfuge. There we go. Betrayal and Subterfuge in Azeroth, or how I sacrificed my best friend to the Horde in World of Warcraft. So that's me. Obligatory Twitter handle reveal. It's such a generic Twitter name. It's like my name and my birth year. But if you want to follow me, there I am. Right now I'm a student at the University of Bath. I also do a bit of games freelancing just to kind of keep afloat my student budget of pot noodle and pizza. But I don't really want to talk about who I am. I want to talk about who I was. And who I was a gnome warlock called Weemy. Yep, I played World of Warcraft pretty religiously from about the ages 14 to 16. Around the time, I should have really been indulging in the curiosities of puberty. I don't know what that would, fellatio, drinking, I wouldn't know, that's the point. Instead I was jumping into Azeroth like every day, and I did it with a friend. And I have a story to tell you about me and my friend, but before I do that I just want to say, have you ever seen like Panorama or BBC News where they do like reconstructions or recreations of events that are like slickly produced? That's what's coming up next, so I just want to say, however like authentic it may look or realistic, I just want to say it's a reconstruction, so don't be alarmed. No one was hurt, it's just a recreation. So, there I am. That's, as I said, reconstruction, very clearly. That's me, Weemy, and I was a warlock, as you can tell by the Gandalf get-up. And I played with my friend Sam, who was my best friend outside of the game as well. And if we were best friends outside, we were like blood brothers in the game. I mean, we did everything together. We did questing, leveling, PvP, you name it. We were like Lee and Clementine, Sam and Frodo, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. We were just inseparable. Or at least so I thought. There was one time in which Sam was offline. So I didn't really want to do anything major without him. So instead I just kind of potted around Stormwind, which is like the main city for the Alliance. Buying wands, drinking potions, the normal thing a 16-year-old should do on a Saturday evening. And I came across this gnome. And I mean, that's normal in Stormwind. Like, we gnomes are everywhere. We breed like Catholic rabbits. We're everywhere. But he had something he had this aura about him that kind of piqued my interest. And let's call him Bob. Bob actually did something that really piqued my interest. He actually did the cough emote at me, which is, I mean, you see people like dancing naked in Stormwind and spamming porn sites, but you don't see just something as subtle as this. So I walked up to him, and I still remember it. Bob just said to me two words, or he whispered them to me. He said, "Follow me." And to this day, I still don't know whether it was like random chance or whether he'd like been watching me this whole time and it had been some sort of setup. And to this day, I don't know why I did, but I did follow him. That's my attempt at a Rick and Morty reference, by the way. Pretty terrible. And he took me around the this little alley on the side of Stormwind near the center, and he just said, "Do as I do." And he jumped from this street onto these barrels, and then from these barrels onto this light, and he kind of stood there awkwardly, and he took about 2 steps forward, and he suddenly fell, like through the wall and then through the floor, like it was Harry Potter station. I don't actually know. Does anyone know? Station 90 now? There we go, 9 3/4. So it was like that, and he was gone. So I did as he did. I jumped from the street onto these barrels, onto the light, took about 2 steps forward, and I fell. And I ended up here, which is beneath Stormwind, if anyone has ever heard about this. It's a kind of a thing that people do in World of Warcraft. They're constantly trying to get beneath it, and it's just kind of this plain, flat grass, and you can't really do anything. It's just cool to get beneath it. And Blizzard keep trying to patch it up, but we keep finding ways to get down there. And that was the way to get down there at the time, but I didn't know that. This was like new to me, so I was pretty bemused, as you can see. And Bob was there, and next to him was an undead mage. So high level I couldn't even see what level he was just a skull. Now, for anyone who knows their warlocks from their murlocs will know that the undead were part of the Horde, which is like the mortal enemies of the Alliance, which the gnomes were part of. So he could have killed me there and then, but he didn't. Let's call him Bruce. Bob and Bruce must have been talking through Skype or something else, because Bob started telling me of this deal that he wanted to cut me in on. This deal was, if I brought Alliance players down for Bruce to kill, he would give me gold, and lots of it. Pretty shady. I still don't know why he wanted to do that, probably just for XP, I'm not really sure. But to be honest, I needed the money. And I was kind of willing to do it. But who would follow me down there? Like, who was like loyal and trusting enough to follow me down there? Sure, I followed Bob down there, but I was just a curious idiot, right? Who would be so loyal as to follow me all the way down here? Sam, right? But then you think about that, and then you stumble into another problem. Could I really betray Sam like that? Could I knowingly lead him into a death trap? And could I also betray the Alliance, I guess, by kind of being a sleeper agent for the Horde, which is really weird. But I did. It wasn't even like a question for me back then. Yeah. So that's me looking surprised again. So as soon as Sam came online, I think it was that very day, I said, hey, I've got something great to show you. Just like, follow me. And he was like, what is it? And I said, oh, it's a surprise. And so he followed me, and I took him down the secret path. And before he could even express his curiosity or amazement, Bruce showed up and like slayed him there and then. Just one whack at the old staff, and he was dead. Bob comes over, gives me the money with Sam's fresh corpse still laying there. And Sam's like in the party chat saying, what's going on? Why is he not killing you? It was definitely not my finest moment. And you know, to this day, I've still kind of tried to think about why I did what I did, because it really didn't, there was no like angel on my shoulder at the time telling me that's not a good idea. I kind of just did it just like that. And if I could click. And it kind of leads me on to a wider discussion of what the hell happens to our moral code in video games. Why do we do stuff in video games that we would never ever do in real life? And I know like the answer seems simple, and it kind of is in a way. But over the years, I've kind of like had three trains of thought, I guess you could say, about to try and definitely explain my actions, because I'm just trying to find an excuse at this point. So please don't take these as like professional by any means. But here's basically what I think. The first is that the stakes are low. The worst thing that happened to Sam that day is that he lost like some virtual money spending to repair his armor. He lost about 5 minutes of his time, and I mean, we laughed the whole thing off after like 10 minutes. So it didn't really amount to much. It may have been fatal treason in the game, but it translates to the effect of a harmless prank in reality. The consequences of our actions in game are nowhere near as impacting as those outside of the games, and thus the need to consider them loses its relevance. If you think about, say, like as soon as I leave this place and I go down an alley and there's a thief there who says, oh, lure someone around this alley for me to like beat them up and take their money, I'll give you a tenner. Of course I wouldn't do that. It's illegal and people can get hurt. Whereas this kind of, like I said, it's a harmless prank, and Sam's trust wasn't really hurt by it because he knew it didn't really amount to anything, because nothing really happened to him in the end. Of course, the counter to that would be that shouldn't your ethics be kind of universally applied? It's not about the consequences, it's about you as a person. Like, you should apply them regardless of the situation. Now, whether the term situation extends to those we find ourselves in video games is kind of another question altogether. And I'll leave you to consider that in your own time, because frankly I don't know the answer. Point two is that we're role-playing. I mean, people play video games for a lot of reasons. They play to escape, they play to de-stress, whatever. And World of Warcraft, in case you didn't know, is a MMORPG. The last three letters meaning role-playing game. And so part of the thing was I was role-playing. I think at the time I was thinking, when I was given the opportunity with Bob and Bruce, these shady dealers, you know, I thought, what if Weemy had this dark side this whole time? What if, like, at the click of a button, he would just happily betray his friend for money? Or what if he was like a sleeper agent for the Horde? And where else would I get the opportunity to engage in such devious espionage? Right? It certainly wasn't going to be outside of the game. Now, I kind of like this reason because it kind of excuses me of my actions. I can say, oh yeah, it wasn't me, it was Weemy. I was expressing the character of Weemy through my actions. But ultimately, I'm not sure it quite holds up. You know, that said, you can kind of think of examples elsewhere where it might be true, certainly in the role-playing genre. So this last point, I've actually spent quite a bit of time thinking about, and I've done the math, and I think it holds up. But it is a bit mind-blowing, so I want you to hold on to your seats, because it's kind of a truth bomb, to be honest. Video games aren't real. Yeah, I've done the math, it holds up. And as like kind of pithy as that sounds, it's really true. This is a fictional world, so why would we apply our real-world ethics within them? that's what reality's for. I mean, just look at a game like Rust, right? If you don't know what Rust is, it's kind of like Minecraft, but everyone's a dick to each other. It's like a nihilist wet dream. Just seriously, look up like Rust videos on YouTube. My favorite one is where like it's called like Cannibal Prison or something, where this guy, he like invites people into his house, pretending he's a nice host. He'll like lock them up in a prison, take out one and like kill the friend in front of all these other prisoners, and then feed them his corpse to the friends. There's just this clip of this like poor guy in his friend's leg while crying. But it kind of speaks to that truth that, I mean, is this what humanity looks like when they're free of the social norms and rules of the real world, or is it just a form of hyper-indulgence, where players intentionally pursue more anarchic behavior just out of harmless curiosity? Again, that's kind of a question for another time, but the point is that your behavior in video games doesn't reflect your behavior outside of video games. I'm sure all of you here can think of a time where you've done something in a video game which you would never do in real life, right? And this blatant disconnect between fiction and reality goes some way to explain why I didn't even hesitate to betray Sam, which is something I'd never do outside of the game. So, just to round this all up, like, it ultimately comes down to individual opinion, whether you agree with any of these. It could be all of them, it could be none of them, it could be a mix of some of them. For me, it's just trying to find a way to explain like why I did what I did those years ago. You'll be pleased to know that me and Sam are still friends. And if you do want to have a backstabbing partner for a friend, you can hit me up on PS4 or Xbox with that handle. I've changed my ways. I went through something of a change, and I promise I won't betray you in such a way. At least I'll try. So yeah, I'm sorry I can't stay because I'm getting a train back to Byron, but thank you for having me and I hope you have a great evening.